Mr. Pimm.
Kinda like Ib, just IMM.
Thomas Pimm.
Yeah, who are you? And where am I?
Mr. Pimm, I'd like you to remember the last thing you can.
I don't know, I just feel like I just came here. Driving. It was nighttime. I'm driving. I'm heading home. I was late at work. I'm heading home. And I'm driving, and suddenly I come upon stoplight, turns green, keep on. There's a drunk driver up ahead. It's coming closer. Oh no, I remember accidents, the ambulance, operating room, that beeping sound, and I remember kind of a floating feeling. And then bright light. Is this one of those near-death experiences?
Mr. Pimm, there's three kinds of people who come here. There are those who, Mr. Pimm, are just plain bad. But there's a modicum of good in them. These are some of the most evil people, but they're not completely evil. And they end up here as our way of saying, please don't continue the path you're going. Then there are those who are just really, really good. We love to see those. Those aren't that many. And we actually bring them here to say, look, we need a little favor with something. But then there's people like you, the large community, the most people we deal with who come here. People who are neither good, Mr. Pimm, or bad. They're just here. And that's the reason why we brought you here, Mr. Pimm.
What do you mean, neither? I spent my whole life doing what I was supposed to do. I followed all the rules. How can you turn around and say I'm neither good nor bad? I'm just kind of some... who are you? What are you talking about?
You see, Mr. Pimm, that's exactly the problem. You just followed all the rules. You did nothing more. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. You went to church on Sunday. You did everything you were supposed to do. You paid your taxes. You did everything else. But you didn't do anything more. Nothing more than just follow the rules.
What are you talking about? I went to church every Sunday.
The church isn't the issue, Mr. Pimm. Is there a commandment against stealing?
Yeah. What is it, the fifth commandment? Thou shalt not steal.
Good. There is no commandment about being overly charitable, is there?
Well, no.
According to our records, Mr. Pimm, you have contributed to those who are less fortunate than you, which is the homeless, a total of $30 since you were 20, Mr. Pimm. $30. And to tell you the truth, that bothers us, but doesn't bother us as much as this. Mr. Pimm, you were driving home the other day, and there was someone who was hit by a reckless driver, and the reckless driver didn't stop, but neither did you. You didn't call, you didn't use your cell phone, you didn't do anything. You just kept going on, something about you had some kind of an appointment to make, Mr. Pimm.
So I'm not good enough?
Let me explain to you, Mr. Pimm, what you are. This is what bothers us. You see, right now, you are an apple seed that we have planted in the ground of the earth, and you have grown and become an apple tree without any apples. That means the one seed produces the one tree, period. And that's the end of the seed and the tree, because there is nothing more beyond this. It's the seed, the tree. Mr. Pimm, that's all it is. That's what you've done. You look at what the gospel says. You look at what Jesus says. Where does he say you're called to follow all the rules? He says yes. Do what they say. Bear fruit, Mr. Pimm. And that's what you're not doing. You're not bearing fruit.
Well, we are supposed to follow the rules, aren't we?
We are supposed to follow the rules, I said that. But I want you to look at that. We're supposed to change people's lives for the good. You see, the way people live their lives, they either change people for the good or the bad, or they do nothing. And that's what you've done. You've done nothing. But what we're calling people to do, what your baptismal promises are about, is that you will go out and you will live your life in such a way that people's lives will be changed for the good. Not just by following rules, by going beyond that, by being someone who impersonates the person who gave everything he had for you. And that's the fruit you bear, Mr. Pimm. You see, Mr. Pimm, it's kind of like a man who takes his money and buries it into the ground. Doesn't invest it, doesn't do anything with it. And when it's time to return his money to the person he borrowed it from, he returns exactly what he received, no interest, no nothing, and expects to get away with that. That's what you've done, Mr. Pimm. That's what you've done.
So you're telling me I'm not good enough?
We're offering you a choice, Mr. Pimm. You have a choice. You can either continue the way you're going and you'll end up in a place which I have to admit is not a very happy place. Or you can go back and you will have what they call that near-death experience that you referenced earlier. The choice is yours. I'll tell you this much, you won't remember this particular time right here. All you remember is the floating, the light, the whole bit, and then all of a sudden, you'll be back. Choice is yours, but if you go back, you're going back to bear fruit, to bring people to change their lives just by the way you live yours, and you have to live yours in a way that you don't just simply follow the rules and nothing more. Try to be the hero that you're called to be, which is love as Christ has called us to you. You're going to change people's lives, Mr. Pimm, if you decide to do that. But if you decide not to, Mr. Pimm, there's nothing I can do for you.